What's up guys, Metal571 here. Today I'm going to be talking about the Focal Elex or Elex or Elex or whatever the name of this thing is. This is a French open back 80 ohm dynamic aluminum magnesium 40mm driver equipped headphone. And let's talk about the bass first. So the bass here, there's a big advantage over the HD6XX, which is the main thing I'm comparing to here, because we're in between in the price bracket for this thing at $699 on mass drop. The 6XX and things that are expensive start to become very expensive, like, you know, the HD800, which you can buy used for somewhere around this price, maybe a little bit more, or LCD2, things like that. So we're between these price points, and that's kind of where my expectations are set. And the bass on this thing is definitely an improvement, I would say, over the 6XX. It's got, you know, more extension. It's a little bit mid-bassy, but that's kind of just how open dynamics tend to be. But otherwise, this might be one of the better, maybe one of the best actually, extending open backs on the market. The bass is not strong, but it's plenty. It's ample and it extends well. A slight mid-bass hump. During a sine sweep, this sounded like it started to roll off around 40 hertz, which is pretty good. I mean, like, really good for a dynamic. Usually dynamics roll off noticeably quite a bit before that. And but of course the LCD2 Classic is going to beat this thing, which is slightly more expensive. I think it's $799 when it's new, because it's a planar, and planars, when well designed, they extend very well, like almost bottomlessly. And now let's talk about the mid-range. So the mids are very accurate sounding. I was impressed. Pretty similar to the 6XX in terms of their shape you would find on an FR graph, as far as I'm hearing, but not quite as forward. So I don't really have any complaints there. I decreased them a little bit after I tamed the treble, which I'm about to get to here. But other than that, yeah, not really a problem there either. Resolution was solid. Not a big deal. Now the treble, this is where the problem begins on this headphone, which, I mean, you guys know me. Of course it's going to begin with the treble. There's a problem with Metal571. He likes too dark of stuff. No, but really the treble on here is quite metallic sounding, which means that there's a 10 kilohertz emphasis relative to the rest of the treble. And I had to EQ it by about 5 dB to match what the 6XX sounds like, which is basically an HD650 in disguise on mass drop. And yeah, for some reason, so I want you guys to take this review with a fair grain of salt. I guess I'm making kind of a joke here, because this headphone, this in particular, this unit doesn't sound that much better, if at all better, in terms of detail, grain, scratchiness, whatever you want to call it, than the 6XX. And I don't know why, because pretty much everybody I talk to who I really trust says that the Elex easily out-resolves the 650 in terms of clarity, detail, grain, resolution. These are all synonyms for me. So that really confuses me, because a headphone at this price should be better detail-wise. That's one of the big things I look for in pricier headphones than the 650, and it doesn't sound that way to me. I compared them back and forth over and over, and for some reason the 650 not only has better resolution after I EQ'd it, after I EQ'd the Elex peak out to make it sound more similar, but also the air region actually sounded cleaner too, which was, I was just really stunned by. Like, this should sound better. Now, like I said, you should take this review with a fair grain of salt, because I'm guessing that it's possible this unit might actually not be as representative of the Elex at large. So I'm actually looking for a second review unit of this if somebody else wants to send one in. You'll be able to find my email only for sending me stuff on the About section of my channel if you're looking to send another Elex in. So while I think that if the resolution is solved here, this is a really good headphone choice in terms of frequency response, at least, this one doesn't seem to hit the mark. And I don't know why, and I'm thinking it's probably could just be quality control on this unit, because that's not out of the realm of possibility apparently for this brand. Soundstage wise, it's quite a bit narrower actually than the LCD2 Classic I also compared to, which was surprising because I think Odysseys have a reputation for having a narrower soundstage, but it doesn't really sound like that to me compared to the Sennheiser, which is, you know, notoriously not very wide. But this seems to compress the imaging of instruments to within a more intimate space. And the imaging precision is not quite as good either as the Odyssey. The width is a little bit of an upgrade over the 6XX, I'd say, using my reference tracks, but not really that much better, which actually surprised me. That I'm a little bit disappointed by, but I could forgive Soundstage for not being significantly better than the Sennheiser if the resolution was better in the treble, and it's not on this unit. So I'm hoping that when I get another one of these in, it's going to blow away the Sennheiser easily, since that's pretty much what everyone else is saying their Elex is, which is good. That would make sense. That would make sense to me. The detail has to be there when you start charging 3, 4, 5. Actually, a lot more than that. 6, 7. This is a $699 headphone in this case. Based on the Alere and the Clear, which are $1,000 and $1,500 headphones. And when you get to that point, you gotta have resolution down pat. You have to have ability to dig into the song in detail, or that's not going to pass my review very well. Other stuff that could be deal breakers but are not. I don't know why I'm calling this section deal breakers. It's just like, I'm only going to talk about stuff if it's a problem. But actually, I want to praise this thing for using so much metal everywhere. Not just because my name is that, but because it makes the headphones solid feeling. It's a little bit on the heavy side, but it doesn't really bother me because the pads are very good and the headband is very, very soft. And it's wide enough that I don't think it'll create a hot spot for people. I thought the pads could get a little bit scratchy for some people if you're very, very sensitive. They're not like the ultra suede smooth pads. They're a little bit different, but they are still, I found them very, very comfortable. The comfort on this rocks. And it's really nice that they included 2 cables in the box. You've got a balanced XLR cable and you've got a TRS as well. And they are really good quality cables, very, very well made. Having a balance in the box is a big plus. A lot of headphones don't bother to come with that. They force you to buy one separately. So in conclusion here, I think that it seems unlikely this is a representative sample of this headphone in terms of resolution. I'd like to have another unit if someone wants to send another one. So because of that, I can't recommend this yet until I've heard one that sounds significantly better in detail than the 6XX, because this one doesn't for some reason. No idea why. I'm hoping that there aren't too many of these out there if this is a common quality control problem, because I mean, it's not that weird. It's for some reason Tile's Utopia, if you guys have followed him religiously, which apparently some people don't think I have. I don't know why. Some of the comments are like, have you seen this article in Interfidelity? I'm like, are you serious? Like, I followed Interfidelity as if it was like my life for a while. I think I was one of the people who, when I was following Interfidelity, I tried to read the article within seconds of it posting on an RSS feed. I was that obsessed with it. Anyway, getting off the beaten path here. But yeah, so talking to other reviewers I trust, this doesn't seem representative, which is strange. But anyway, what I was trying to say now, I remembered in the Utopia that Tile tried, the first one was very, very different measuring than the other real Utopias that he got later, which were much brighter as they are supposed to be. So I don't know what's going on with this Elex, but I hope that there aren't too many of these around, and I hope it really is a better headphone. So, you know, people are gonna come at me in the comments anyway, seeing like you're trying to frame Focal. Nah, it's just I can only review exactly what I hear. This is what I heard, so this is the review. Simple as that. So hopefully we can get another one of these in here, and hopefully it's better, because there aren't that many options in this price range as well. It's another thing that I wanted to mention. This range is almost devoid of great options between something like $300 and $1,000. You've got the Sundara, which I haven't heard yet. I've only heard it briefly, so I can't give you serious impressions about that. And you've got this, the Elex. You've got the LCD2 Classic, which is actually fairly overpriced, not gonna lie, if you're buying it at MSRP. But when it goes on sale, that's when it starts to become a very, very good deal, which I believe I said in my review. Hopefully I did. But that's about it. I mean, there's not that many other options going on in this price range. I mean, the DT1990 people are going to point to, but I don't know. I'm just not a really big fan of the 1990 personally. Not that it's terrible, but we don't have things that are just like, this is awesome, and like really jump out at you as like obvious options. Apparently the Elex is supposed to be that, but this one doesn't pass my test for sounding like that. So again, hopefully I can get another one of these in, but I hope this is definitely going to be like take 1 of 2. There's gonna have to be another review of this coming up. But this is what I think about this unit. So take that for what it's worth, and I'll see you guys in the next review.